This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good morning, Rabbi Glatstein. Welcome, everyone. Freilich in the Erev Purim. Everyone should have an easy tainus. We should be zoicha to be mavatal amalek on this tainus Esther. I want to share with you a matana toiva min hashamayim, a great gift from heaven. This is an incredible pshat, I believe, in a Gemara in Masechta Megillah on Daf Hey Amud Aleph. Says the Gemara, Amar Rabbi Lazar, Amar Rabbi Chanina, Rebbe natan natia b'Purim. Rebbe planted a tree on Purim. How strange, how odd. Why in the world is Rebbe planting a tree on Purim? Rebbe had nothing better to do than to plant a tree on Purim. The Gemara continues, V'rachatz b'kroina shel tzipori b'shivas b'tamuz. Rebbe bathed in a wagon in Tzipori on the 17th day of Tammuz, and ubikesh lakar Tisha B'av. And Rebbe wanted to get rid of Tisha B'av. All of these three things need explanation, but we're going to focus on Rebbe natan natia b'Purim. Why did Rebbe plant a tree on Purim? And the Gemara discusses this. The Gemara asks, how could Rebbe plant a tree on Purim? But the pasuk says, Simcha mishta v'yom tov. From Simcha we learn out you're now to eulogize. From Mishta we learn out you're now to fast. From Yom Tov we learn out you're now to do malacha. How could Rebbe do malacha on Purim? So the Gemara says Rebbe was, he lived in an unwalled city and he planted on the 15th. So the Gemara says, no, Rebbe lived in Tveria, and Tveria is Mukafas Chaimim, Yimaisi Shobanun. So rather Rebbe observed Purim on the 15th and he planted on the 14th. And the Gemara says, is it Parsha that Tveria doesn't lay in the Megillah on the 14th? Maybe you lay on the 14th in Tveria. Chizkiah lay on the 14th in Tveria. So the Gemara says, Chizkiah didn't know, Rebbe knew. The Gemara still asks, but we learn from Megillah's tainus that you're now to do malacha on either day. The Gemara says, no, you're now to eulogize or fast on either day, but you're allowed to do malacha on the other day. So the Gemara says that the Gemara says that Rav saw somebody that was planting flax on Purim and he cursed him and it didn't grow. So then the Gemara says, no. Who says you're not to do malacha on Purim? It originally says that Purim was established as a Yom Tov, but they didn't want to be makabelet because it says Simcha Mishta Yom Tov. And in the end it says Mishta v'Simcha, not Yom Tov. Okay. Or the Gemara says, really you're now to do malacha, but Rebbe was planting a planting of joy. What's a planting of joy? So the Gemara says, Binyan refers to Binyan Shel Simcha. When it says in Tainus, if the rain doesn't fall, we're a Mamayit, Maso Matan, and Binyan and Natia. Binyan refers to Binyan Shel Simcha, and Natia refers to Natia Shel Simcha. What's Natia Shel Simcha? Avornuki Shel Malachim. Something that has that you plant for kings. Okay, what in the world is going on over here? Why is Rebbe planting a tree on Purim? Whatever it's for kings, not for kings. What's he doing? You know, we don't find Rebbe's reading the Megillah on Purim. We don't find that Rebbe is giving Shachmanos, which of course he did, but we don't have any explicit mention of that. Why are Chazal reporting to us that Rebbe planted a tree on Purim? Now I saw this question in a new book called Purim Eternal, and by Rabbi Avi Feiner, and I want to suggest a new pshat, an innovative pshat, an amazing pshat, and I think it's Emes Lamitai, and it will give us a tremendous insight into the Yom Tov of Purim. This is really a gift from heaven. If you look, most shuls today don't say kroivitz on Purim, but there is something called kroivitz for Purim. That's written by Rebbe Lezer HaKalir. It's piyutim for every bracha of Shemona Esrei. Yeah, would they say it by? They say it. There's one bracha that has no kroivitz on Purim. Which bracha has no kroivitz on Purim? As Semach David Avdecha Mehira Satzmiach. You knew that? That interesting, right? That the kroivitz for Purim appears for every bracha in Shemona Esrei except for one. Now, Rav Shachter in his Sefer Bikvei Hatzayin says, you know why there's no kroivitz for Purim in Es Semach David? Because there's a Tosefta. The Tosefta says if you want to combine Es Semach David with Lushalayim Ercha, you're allowed to. Because the whole concept of the Malchus based David is only the Hashlama of Yerushalayim. It's only the completion of Yerushalayim. The Tosfos Rid and Tainus says in Eretz Yisrael, they didn't even say a Semach David Avdecha as a separate bracha. They said it as one bracha with Yerushalayim. And that's why there's no Kroivitz for Purim. The reason there's no Kroivitz for Purim is because as Semach David is not really a separate bracha. Actually, he brings here that in the Cairo Geniza, until the Middle Ages, they combined these two brachos. That's why what do we refer to Shemona Esrei as? Shemona Esrei, but it's not, it's 19. No, it's still 18, because you could combine a Semach David with Yerushalayim. That might be the historical reason why there's no Kroivitz for Purim as for the bracha of Es Semach David. However, the Sifrei Chasidus bring an incredible pshat. Why there's no Kroivitz for Purim in Es Semach David? Ready for this? Get a load of this. And I'll introduce it in a interesting way. You know, we say in the Megillah, Im hacharesh tacharish ibois hazois. Mordechai says, if you're going to be quiet at this time, Revach v'hatzala yamoy la'izim imakayim acher ve'at u'beisoiv avich toivedu, and you and your father's house will go down. Why did Mordechai say to Esther, you and your father's house will go down? You'll go down. You'll be lost. You had an opportunity to accomplish great things and you blew it. Why is Mordechai throwing the whole ancestry of Esther under the bus? The answer is Esther has a big job to accomplish. What's Esther's job? To be Mesakein the Chet of Shaul HaMelech. Esther is the descendant of Shaul. So is Mordechai. And what did Shaul do wrong? He didn't kill Agag. Because he didn't kill Agag, Amalek had a continuity. He thought he killed everyone except Agag, but that night Agag quickly lived with the Shifcha, and that's where Haman came from. So Mordechai tells Esther, if you don't correct Shaul's blunder now and destroy Amalek, you're going to go down, and Shaul will be villainized in the annals of Jewish history because he blew it. He didn't kill Amalek, and you have the opportunity to rectify. So the Megillas Esther is a correction for who? Shaul. In fact, we find in the Megillah, Uvabiza lo shalchu es yadam. They didn't take the spoils. They didn't take the spoils. Why? To correct Shaul, who took the spoils of Amalek. So the whole purpose of Megillas Esther is to rectify who? Shaul. Very nice. We're wonderful. So that means the Yom Tov of Purim is Shaul Day. That's great. There's one person who doesn't get along with Shaul. David and Shaul do not get along. They don't like each other. And therefore, there's one bracha we don't acknowledge Purim in. We do not acknowledge Purim as Semach David Avdecha Meher Satzmiach. Why? David and Shaul, David says, you want to fix Shaul? Leave me out of this. Leave me out of this. The Rav Pinchas Karatzer and the Imre Pinchas says, quotes the Abda Rav, and he also quotes Rabbi Yisrael ben Siklier, that Purim is called the day of Shaul HaMelech, because that's the day Shaul was rectified. Therefore, we don't talk about David on Purim. And therefore, on Hoshana Rabbah, who wrote the Hoshanas? Rebbe Lezer HaKalir. Who wrote the Kroivitz for Purim? Rebbe Lezer HaKalir. On Hoshana Rabbah, which is the Ushpizin for David, when we list all the tzaddikim who God listened to their tefillah, we omit Shaul, because Hoshana Rabbah is David Day. And Purim is Shaul Day. Fine. So David says, let him have his day, but leave me out of this. That's from the Imre Pinchas or Pinchas Karatzer. Says Rav Naftali of Ropchitz, Nazara Kodesh. There's a pasuk in Tehillim, Parakuvav. Zachrini Hashem b'rtzai na'amecha. Remember me, God, when you show goodwill to your people. Pakteni b'shuasecha. David says, when you make the miracle of Purim, please remember me. So therefore, Mordechai is, his lineage is given. Mordechai HaYehudi. So he says from the Rav of Lublin, Mamish Oyon V'Noira. On Hoshana Rabbah, we daven Hashem should save us in the schus of the tzaddikim, and we list every tzaddik. We don't list Shaul. And on Purim, there's no kroivis for Tzemach David. And the reason is, David v'Shaul, these are not my words, soinim zelazeh. Therefore, in Hoshana Rabbah, which is the midah of David, so we don't mention Shaul. And Purim, which is the rectification of Shaul, we don't mention David. So David says, don't forget about me entirely, at least give me some credit on Purim, Ish Yehudi.
But it was really, Purim was really the rectification for Shaul. Amalek wasn't destroyed; he still existed.
But they wiped him out a good deal. Haman had a nice downfall.
Shaul wiped out most of Amalek.
But he like the difference is Shaul made a cheshbon that he shouldn't do it. So that was a conscious blunder, as opposed to in Purim they wiped out as much as they possibly were able to. By the way, in the Sefer Igra the Perka of Bnei Yissaschar, he says the same thing. The reason why there's no piyut for Tzemach David, because we have a tradition that Amalek will fall into the hands of the Bnei Rachel. Therefore, Linus Yased, the miracle of Purim to be remembered in as Tzemach David. Okay, so I want to share with you something else incredible that I found. There's a shaila. Why don't we say Hallel on Purim?
The Megillah is Gerula, right?
Either Kriyasa Zuhi Helela, or we don't say Hallel for a miracle that happened in Chutz La'aretz, or Akati Avdei Achashver Shanan. We can't say Hallelu Avdei Hashem. And there's a sefer here called Aryeh Shag, Rabbi Aryeh Leibish Halberstam. He brings down that the Gemara, why don't we say Hallel on Purim? And the truth is a very big question. According to the Zayar, Purim is called a Moyed. And in fact, Purim, according to the Zayar, is a hashlama for the Mayad. And let me read to you the Zayar. That the Zayar says in Noach, when he took into the Teva 2 and 2 of the treif animals, 7 and 7 of the kosher animals, the 2 are Rosh Hashanah, and the other 2 are Shavuos, and they're besafek. So Purim is mashlam them. 7 and 7 are Pesach and Sukkot. Okay, interesting. The question is, Kriyas HaMegillah takes the place of Hallel? Why don't we say Hallel also, he says. And he suggests the following reason. He quotes Reb Pinchas Karatzer. He says, what's Hallel? The Gemara says, Rebbe says, all the Shiurim v'Sishbach that are said in Tehillim, David said about himself. Hallel was said through David. The Gemara Pesachim says, when David said, David says, Even Moasu Abayim Haisel Rosh Pina. Yishai said, Me'es Hashem Haisel Zais. He neflois beinenu. And the brothers of David said, on David Zayim As Hashem Nagil Nischavai. Shmuel said on David Ana Hashem Mashiachna. David said Ana Hashem Masichana. Baruch Haba B'Shem Hashem. Kel Hashem Ayarlanu is on David. So what is Hallel? Hallel is David's praise that he became Melech Yisrael. And that he was saved from the suspicions of being a mamzer and being illegitimate and being not recognized. So what's Hallel? Hallel is David being recognized as Melech Yisrael. Guess what day it is completely inappropriate to say Hallel? Purim! Purim is the day of Shaul. You're going to say Hallel? We're going to praise God that David's the king? Shaul ain't going to be happy with that. Can't say Hallel on Purim. Purim is Shaul's day. It's not David's day. David says, leave me out of this one. Give me a little recognition. Call him Ish Yehudi. But don't give me any piyutim in my bracha. This is Shaul's day. You want Shaul, I'll let you rectify yourself. But, we don't get along. Shaul and David don't get along. In fact, I saw a beautiful pshat in the Sefer V'daber Davar. The Daber Davar was written by Rav Doiv HaKoyin Fink, who wrote many different svarim on Purim. He says, a very interesting thing. The pasuk says, "Uvikshu es Hashem lekeim v'es David malkam." They're going to seek out God and David. So David is referred to as a bakasha. On the other hand, Shaul's melucha is considered borrowed. He's borrowed. He's not a real melech. He's borrowed until David comes. So he's like a she'ela. Esther wasn't sure. She saw things were turning for the better of the Jews. She saw that Klal Yisrael would establish themselves, but she wasn't sure. She'elasi, is it going to be Shaul, Ubakashasi, or is it going to be David? Is this going to be like borrowed melucha or real melucha? By the way, that's the middle pasuk in the Megillah. Anyway, they didn't know. What is it going to be? So she said, Nafshi b'she'elasi. My soul, I come from Shaul, will be she'ela. Yeah. But v'ami b'vakashasi. Because maybe Klal Yisrael will be zoicha to Malchus David, and then they'll be zoicha to the Beis HaMikdash. So Achashverosh said, no bakasha. Ad chatzi ha-Malchus. I ain't giving you the Beis HaMikdash. You want a she'ela? Go ahead. No bakasha. But anyway, what we see from here is that David HaMelech is at the very least slightly suspicious of the Yom Tov of Purim.
Of the what?
Of the Yom Tov of Purim. This ain't his day. This is Shaul's day. So that led me to the following reminder.
Does he make any reference at all? Well, in Tehillim and Chaf
Chaf
Beis,
Beis, right?
Is Esther, right?
Yes. So let me share with you another thought I had. And this really got me thinking. There's a medrash that says, in Esther Rabbah, Mordechai yatzam lifnei hamelch belvush malchus. Ma hamelech loivesh porphyrin kach Mordechai lavash porphyrin. Just like a king wears a robe, Mordechai wore a robe. Just like a king makes a crown, Mordechai had atar zahav. Just like the king inspires fear, Mordechai inspired fear. Just like a king mints coins, Mordechai minted coins. So Rabbi Glatstein says, what did he need this for? He was running after false kavod? He needed to mint coins, he had nothing better to do? And why did the Sanhedrin leave Mordechai? Why did they leave him? Apparently they left him. You know why they left him, says Rabbi Glatstein? Because you can't appoint a melech on the Sanhedrin. And Mordechai was becoming a melech. Why? Why is he minting coins? Why is he establishing himself as a melech? So we once said that the Gemara says in Sanhedrin Daf Chaf Amud Beis, Klal Yisrael are commanded to fulfill 3 mitzvos when they enter Eretz Yisrael. What are they? The Rambam says, and the Gemara says, the 3 mitzvos are to make a king, to destroy Amalek, and to build the Beis HaMikdash. Apparently, says Rabbi Glatstein, we say that in order to be able to destroy Amalek, what do you need? What do you need to establish yourself as? You have to have a melech. If you don't have a melech, you can't destroy Amalek. So Mordechai was not minting coins for the honor, for the prestige, for the recognition, for the fame. Mordechai was establishing himself as a melech to be able to destroy Amalek in order for there to be a Beis HaMikdash. Vasulava, we're going to need a melech.
Really?
Now, we have over here, Reb David Tevel in the Drashos Beis David, he says, Mechias zaroi shamak lo yitachin rak al yedei melech. Like it says, the Beis HaMikdash could only fall into the hand of a Gentile king. Likewise, Amalek could only fall into the hand of a Jewish king. So the first king of Israel was Shaul, and he was primed to destroy Amalek. And Shaul HaMelech, Mizar Shal Rachel, but he didn't do the job. Therefore, David HaMelech had to finish off the job. So too, in the second Beis HaMikdash, Mordechai became great. He minted coins, he wore a robe, and he made himself like a king. And Esther was like a malka, and that is why Mechia Zarei Shal Amalek was possible. So I ask you a question. Do you think the family of Malchus Beis David, looking at Mordechai becoming a melech, did they approve or did they not approve? You think they were comfortable with Mordechai making himself a melech? We've had before in history where by a different salvation of Jewish people, a family became the melech, and the Malchus Beis David wasn't happy with that. Times of Chanukah. The Chashmonim took over the Melucha. That's why the Ramban says they were wiped out. And then I remember the Chassam Sofer says, why is there no Masechta for Chanukah? Because who wrote the Mishnah?
Why is there?
No Masechta for Chanukah. Who wrote the Mishnah? Rebbe. Where did Rebbe come from? Malchus Beis David. Therefore, Rebbe stood up for the honor of his family, and he would not compose a Masechta for Chanukah. And therefore, what do you think Rebbe felt about Purim? You think Rebbe was very comfortable on Purim? I'll give you an example.
Planted a tree.
Rebbe wanted to be Oiker Tisha B'Av. You know why he wanted to be Oiker Tisha B'Av? The Bnei Yissaschar says because Rebbe came from David, and Mashiach is born on Tisha B'Av. So Rebbe, in his genes, felt that Tisha B'Av was already coming to an end because Mashiach was going to come. What do you think Rebbe felt like on Purim? He got a little uncomfortable, with this Mordechai being a melech, with Shaul having rectification. Rebbe says we gotta tone down that Purim. Rebbe does malacha on Purim, the same way he wants to be mevatel Tisha B'Av in the honor of his family. And we once said a pshat, Rebbe rachatz bekroiner shel tzipari b'shivas b'tamuz. We once said an amazing pshat, al pi drush, that Rus conceived Oived on Shivas b'tamuz. And Rebbe, who came from that family, saw the seeds of Yeshua on that day. Rachatz could be, he had trust. Like we say, Be'ana rachetz, in him I trust. Rachatz, Bekroina, Bekeren, in the glory of Tzipori, the bird, Klal Yisrael, on the 17th day of Tammuz. So I want to suggest Rebbe did Malach on Purim in similar to the fact that Rebbe Lazar Kaler did not compose a piyut for a Semach David Avdecha. But I want to add one amazing thing. The Gemara says, that what kind of tree did Rebbe plant? Netiyah shel simcha. But I never realized this. The Gemara says, what's a netiyah shel simcha? Avarnaki shel melachim. A shade for kings. Rebbe said, okay, you can have your day, but don't forget who the real Malchus belongs to. Belongs to us. Belongs to the Malchus Beis David. So on Purim, the day that Shaul is rectified as a melech and Mordechai establishes himself as a melech, Rebbe goes ahead and he plants a tree. What kind of tree? Avarnuki shamalachim. Similar to the fact that Rebbe wanted to be mevatel Tisha B'Av in honor of his family, and he wanted to bathe on Shivas B'Tamuz in honor of his family. Rebbe planted a tree. Don't get carried away with Purim. What kind of tree? Avarnuki shamalachim. I think it's an amazing pshat.
Did he actually, Mordechai, feel like he had the din?
He did. And he was able to kill Amalek in that capacity. Oh, good. The Beis David says, since he wasn't fully a melech, therefore the Shechina did not return fully to the second Beis Hamikdash. He was only Mishnah LaMelech. But he had a quasi-status of a melech. But the Chiddush we're trying to say is, Rebbe planted a tree. What kind of tree? A tree of Malchus, to basically lay his stakes to the Melucha. Don't get carried away. Mordechai, you could have your day. The Malchus belongs to Malchus Beis David.
Did Mordechai ever get married or have children?
Rabbi Say, I wish everyone a freilichen Purim.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.